We've known Facebook has been collecting data on its users for quite some time, but now you can see for yourself how the site has characterized you based on your political affiliation. Here's what you do. You go to Facebook's Ad Preferences page and look up the U.S. politics box, and you can see there if you're labeled conservative, moderate, liberal, or even very conservative or very liberal. CNET editor Dan Ackerman joins us now to walk us through this development. Now, how did Facebook do this? I guess if you wrote that you're liberal, they would know, but are they getting at it by other means?
Yeah, Facebook's whole business model is really built on developing kind of a customer profile of you, figuring out what you like, what ads you're interested in seeing, and then kind of selling that data and serving you basically ads against it. And so much of what's going on social media today, whether it's Twitter or Facebook, is political. People sharing stories, sharing opinions, liking things, not liking things. It's almost hard to avoid getting information about what your political leanings are.
And I guess this is going to function as a big fact check on Facebook. People right now are going to be flocking to their Facebook page to see how they've been categorized, and we're going to find out, I imagine, on social media whether Facebook has done a good job. Was this big reveal by Facebook intentional, or did it leak? How did we find out that they're doing this?
People who are sort of very savvy about what information is being collected about them online, and particularly by social networks, they've been aware of this stuff for a long time. You've been able to see a lot of profile information from Facebook before now. Just most people don't go and dig through it. And this is just one category out of dozens that Facebook rates you in. You can go see if they think, how old you are, if you have kids, how old those kids are, what your interests are, what kind of phone you have. I looked at my stuff. I hate to say it, it's pretty accurate.
All right, another new study found Instagram can be a good indicator of a person's mental health. Researchers developed an algorithm that looked at nearly 170 people's Instagram posts and could determine which of those people were depressed. Those who were depressed tended to post more frequently and to post photos that were darker in color. Darker in color. Are we all that obvious? Is this really a trustworthy study, Dan? Do you think social media is coming through diagnostically in this particular case?
Well, it's interesting. What they were saying was if you use kind of the darker, grimmer-looking filters, that's an indicator that you may be suffering from depression. And that seems very obvious. But if you look at the bigger picture here, what we're doing is we're creating this huge catalog of data about ourselves, and we're putting it online. And we may be able to filter that in small increments here and there, like I'm going to think twice about what I'm posting today. But over the course of days or weeks or months, you're really letting a very unfiltered version of yourself out there. So if they can find these correlation points between the use of a filter or where you check in on Facebook to different locations, whether you keep to your normal schedule or whether you have a more erratic schedule, and be able to make some sort of determination about your mental state or whether or not you're suffering from depression, that's number one, super interesting, and number two, super troubling, because who else is going to want information to that, who else is going to want access to that information?
Well, there you go. I mean, right now, when you're looking for a job, employers can already check your credit rating. That used to be private information. Is it going to be a case in the future where you better watch what you do on social media, not because of the content, but because of the unconscious indicators about your mental state?
Yeah, when you apply for a job now, frankly, they're going through all of your social media postings to see what kind of person you are. If they could then take that data and feed it through some sort of program that would say you might, cost them more insurance money because you're going to be suffering from depression or have some other, condition, that might be something that people are going to object to.
It worries me. You better check my social media later to see how I really feel. Airlines are spending millions of dollars trying out new technology to improve how they track luggage. This comes as products like TrackDot and LugLock and Blue Smart let passengers track their own bags. Now, the airlines are pretty late to this, are they not, Dan?
People have been losing luggage for a long time. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I've had a pretty good lifetime average on this. And I hate to give them any credit, especially, Delta, but adding things like RFID chips to the luggage tags, that's a pretty smart idea. I gotta give them a thumbs up for that one. That's a low-cost way to really cut down on misplaced luggage.
Although now people are going to find out exactly where their bag is. I mean, I've lost luggage before at the airport. Airlines have lost my luggage. It sort of just disappears for a few hours. Now, if I'm understanding this correctly, you're going to know exactly where it is?
Well, it depends on what technology you use. If you have a Delta RFID, label on your bag, it can get scanned several points during the trip. That's a very close-range scanner, so you at least have kind of a chain of custody of your bag. Some of the other products that you were talking about, like LugLogic and TrackPoint, they're more like devices you put in your luggage that emit a GPS signal, and it's up to you. You get your phone or whatever other device and log into the app, and it shows you exactly where your bag is, as long as it can get a signal out and still has battery power.
Amazing. Dan Ackerman of CNET, I appreciate you walking us through these big issues.
Anytime.